some people are still going to arrive during the morning. We're going to shuffle things around a little bit. My name is Steve Roderick from Duchy College. I'm the project manager for the Farm Net Zero project. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all here today. We're coming to the end of this project. It's been a great project. My role this morning is to, or during the day, is to tell you a bit about the programme and to keep things moving, which is going to be a difficult task really. It's a bit like herding cats. We've got lots of farmers who are going to tell you what their experience is, but we'll see how it goes. I was going to spend a bit of time telling you about the Farm Net Zero project, but I'm now going to do that very quickly so we can get on with the programme. So if you just give me a few minutes to tell you a bit about the background of the project and what we've done over the last 5 years, so I will be brief. So this is the full title of the project, funded by the National Lottery. They've been really good funders, supporting the community of farmers to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and manage soils sustainably and profitably. So I suppose our philosophy has been that the farming has the solutions and not the problem. And the best way to develop those solutions and to implement those solutions is to work together and share knowledge and so on. So that's been our sort of underlying philosophy of the project. It's a multi-partner project. Duchy College are the contract managers, but the lead technical group have been the Farm Carbon Toolkit, and also West Country Rivers Trust, Individual Farmers, and Innovation for Agriculture have been really important partners doing specific tasks and helping generally run a successful project. 5-year project, started in 2001. After a slow start because of COVID, we've been full on for the last 4.5 years or so. I'm doing this quickly, but we know there's been lots of elements to it. The monitor farms, demonstration farms and field labs have been really key elements to the programme. And we've got quite a few monitor farmers here today, and you'll be hearing from some of them during the panel sessions during the day. Basically, the funding restricted us to North and East Cornwall. So all the farms come roughly from that region. We cut across all enterprises and all soil types. And during the course of the project, we've been monitoring soil quality and every couple of years doing carbon footprints using the farm carbon calculator. On some farms, we've been developing action plans to reduce emissions and sequester carbon, and you'll be hearing from some farmers today how they've been getting on with those actions. And many of the increasing numbers of the monitor farms have been involved in trials of innovations they've come up with, and they've been hosting farm events and generally sharing knowledge. So building networks and sharing knowledge has been a key part of our project. We've also had, really importantly, 3 demonstration farms representing the dairy sector, the beef sector, and the sheep and arable sector, Blaydell, Pensiple and Ennisbarton. And we're very grateful to Mike and Sam Blaydell and Andrew at Ennisbarton and Anthony at Pensiple for the way they've opened up the farms to us and the way they've engaged with the project. They've been a really key, important part, and you'll be hearing from all 3 of them during the day, hopefully. We've also had, importantly, 5 field labs. Now, field labs, for those of you who don't know, are very practical ways of doing research on farms. It's becoming increasingly popular and common way of getting practical solutions to real-life problems. So it's basically groups of farmers working directly with a researcher to design hands-on practical farm trials of field labs. And we've had 5 of them. We've got one on composting, one on maize cultivation, one on grazing lands on cover crops, another one looking at the relationship between herbal lays and milk quality, and one looking at duck control as well. We have at least 3 of them. There are films that we'll be showing during the day that you can find out a bit more about them, and all 5 of them are represented on posters at the back there, so you can read a bit more about them, and you can ask Laura and Jerry, who are here from Innovative Farmers, to a bit more about them if you're interested. and you can find out more from the Innovative Farmers website and from the project website as well. Okay. So what have we achieved? Over the 5 years we've run more than 60 events, mainly been farm events on a whole range of topics. There are many people going to other monitor farms to view different innovations and to have farm walks and to hear from farmers and to discuss things. We've also held online workshops and seminars, conferences. We've even had some seminars for those people who support farmers, like vets and agronomists and ecologists. So that the life of the project is basically one event every month, which has been fantastic, really. It's never been our aim to maximise the number of people. We've always looked at the optimum number of people to get the best out of the knowledge exchange process, I suppose. But we have had more than 700 people attending our events, and many of those have been to quite a number of events. We've produced more than 80 fact sheets, reports and newsletters. They're all on our website, with links so you can go and have a look at them. We've had lots of media coverage. One of our partners, Innovation for Agriculture, has been very active in getting us into the farming press, the regional press. We've even been on national TV. Well, Hannah has it quite a few times, I think. And on regional TV as well, so we've done really well in that respect, getting this really positive project promoted nationally. And we've also, as I say, produced a number of films and been involved in various films as well. Talking about the films during the lunchtime, we're going to be showing the films with low volume subtitles on the main in this hall, but they'll also be shown in another room with volume on if anybody wants to listen to them. So that's been the farming side of things. In terms of the other element, has been the community programme run by the West Country Rivers Trust, where we've tried to reach out to the non-farming audience to raise awareness and give positive messages and to encourage people to use climate-friendly gardening techniques that they may have seen or we have developed on our monitor farms. And we've held lots of events and so on. And I had a very successful Changemakers concert recently. I'm not going to say anything more. It was a fantastic event. I'm not going to say anything more about that because I know Martin is probably going to mention it later. That's the end of my very quick introduction to the Farm Net Zero project. I do want to thank all of the farmers, monitor farmers, demonstration farmers, and the other farmers who have been involved in this project. It's been a really successful project, and it wouldn't have been possible, of course, without the farmer input. The National Lottery have been brilliant funders. They've been fantastic to work with. And all the partners that we work with have really been excellent as well. We've worked well as a team. We've had some fantastic speakers at our events. We've had lots of collaborators and offspins from this project, including the Agri-Carbon Kernel project, which is funded by Cornwall Council, which now allows farmers throughout Cornwall to get funding for carbon plans and water plans and biodiversity plans. And that's a result of the success of the Farm Net Zero project. And of course there's been the project team. I'm not going to name everybody, but all the partners, all the team members have been brilliant. We've met regularly online, admittedly, but some of us in person quite a lot. I'm not sure whether I can name everybody, but certainly I want to thank my colleague Alex Bedington, who's been brilliant in this project for all the work he's done behind the scenes and with farmers. And of course Hannah Jones, who you all know, Hannah's been brilliant the way that she's brought her knowledge and innovation and the way she works with farmers to this. And she's been a really key person in the project, so thanks to them. And also Gemma, thanks for all your help organising this conference. So that's a personal thanks from me to you for all that input. Thank you. As for the programme for the day, this is it. The main part of the programme is going to be around farmer panels. We've got 2 before lunch and 3 after lunch. We're going to swap them around a little bit, I think, because some people have not arrived yet. But we're going to start off, I think, Alex, are we still starting with the oral session? There's Alex. Yeah, so we switched them around a bit. We're going to start off with an oral session, and then hopefully the horticulture people will be here. Everybody will be here. We'll do a horticulture session before lunch, and then we have the film shows during the lunchtime. There's also fact sheets you can pick up during lunch if you want to. After lunch, we've got a session on dairy farming, and then a session on grazing management and beef and sheep. And then the final panel session will be on sort of community, nature and biodiversity and so on. And then we're going to be, next up is going to be Mike Roberts, who's one of our demo farmers and has been a fantastic support of this project. I'm really pleased to get Mike to say a few words. We'll give Mike 20 minutes. So wish me luck on that one. Hopefully Mike will leave us a bit of time for questions as well. And then Alex is going to tell us a bit about the results that come out of the monitoring part of the project. It's early days really, we're still analysing the data, we've only just collated the data together, we just finished collecting it actually, so but Alex has got one or two highlight results to tell you what the work he's been doing with farmers. And then the finished day, we've got Andrew Brewer, another one of our demo farmers, and has again been a brilliant support to the project, also winner of Carbon Farmer of the Year as well, to talk about his thoughts about us going forward. And then Hannah will be closing the day. I'm not sure what Hannah's going to say, but I'm sure it'll be brilliant. I think I'm going to ask Mike to come up now, if that's all right, Mike?
Right, the heart of land, soil and community. 20 minutes. It's going to be good, it's going to be tight. Now, I'm very passionate about agriculture and the people involved in it. And as farmers, we all love the farms and the land we live in, and but it's very difficult to see the wood from the trees when your bank balance is in the red. It's very difficult to do that. Just a bit of a sobering note, on our government website, I see the other day, the average UK farm debt is £300,000 per farm. And that's a pretty sobering way to start a presentation, isn't it? But just thought I'd get that out there to begin with. So, this is our family. This is Alison, Claire and Sam, and our stabiliser suckers in the back with their calves. And I've got a little story to tell you, and I need you to use your imagination a little bit going through here. So, my story started 45 years ago, so 20 minutes is going to be pretty impossible. This young boy called Mike left school, young, lean, enthusiastic, ready for work, a bit like a limousine bull, with a fringe. He loved his family farm Blayball, but he also loved all the hedges. He also loved looking over the hedges to the neighbouring farms. And what he's seen there was more productivity. They'd be doing 2 or 3 cuts of silage compared to our one. Their arable crops would be yielding higher yields than what we were. And this young guy called Mike thought, well, that must be the answer. We need more productivity. And back then, it was all about productivity. Our subsidy system was about productivity, and it was all about that. So, always keen to improve Blayball Farm, it became a more aggressive farming system. Fast farming, you could call it. And there was never enough return of money and time on your investment that you spent in it. And that then led to more faster farming. Now, as farmers, we all like to think we're self-employed and we own our own businesses. But when you're farming that way is when you must realise that the more money you spend, the more time you spend working for someone else, because you're working to pay for that product you bought or pay off that debt. And that's where the real pressure of farming can come in, the farming life. It just builds that pressure, and this is a real problem. And we've all been there, we've been there in the past, and it seemed to be, in this system of spending, most of our infrastructure was on buildings, and just setting the farm up for more livestock. and we went through a phase of renting out ground for potatoes, cauliflower, maize, and cereals, and we noticed a real problem with our soils, well, there's just erosion, there's dirty water, we had displacements of stone through subsoiling and destoning. And that's when the penny dropped, and we thought we need to do something different. And we planned to go all grassland and raise our suckler cow numbers. So, you know, we were having problems. Just you could see you had soil erosion down the bottom of the field after these here heavy crops. There was just a lot of soil which landed up by the hedge. And that wasn't what went out through the gate neither. So, so with that, the penny dropped, and it wasn't really helping the label. Yeah, this year aggressive farming. So when we decided to change this farming system, this is when this young spark turned up. After leaving sixth form, and working on a building site for a while, and while helping on the farm when needed, he then realised he wanted to come home full-time working, which we didn't let on, but we were delighted. You know, you've got the next generation coming home, and it's cheap labour. What more do you want? What more do you want? Young, lean, enthusiastic, and ready for work, a bit like that old limousine bull, but this time with a dodgy moustache. And after a while, he went to an NBA meeting, National Beef Association meeting up country with a few mates, and they were on a farm which was an organic stabilizer suckler farm, and James Daniels was there. James Daniels was there paddock grazing and showing them the systems. He come back and he said, "Yeah, this is what we ought to do, Dan. We need to be paddock grazing." And my recollection of paddock grazing was driving a 12-volt battery across a muddy field. And as Shania Twain once said, "That don't impress me much." So he was up there. Well, no, actually, that then he didn't really mention it again until 12 months later, the autumn of 2019. And that year was a bit of a tricky year for grass growth. It was the hottest June on record, 38 degrees, and we've broke that now. I think 40 degrees is what we've had this year. August was a real wet year. We turned our cattle out in early May, and we were bringing them in again in September, only less than 5 months out on grass. And that's when he brought it up and said, "Look, what are we doing this for? They're in more than what they're outside. It's just ridiculous." So then I caved in, and we had James come round to the farm for a discussion. James, here we are, there's James. He's keen, lean, enthusiastic, built like a Chardonnay. But he went off and done a costings for us. And he come back, and there's good news and bad news. The good news was we were in the top 10% of suckler farmers. The bad news was we were making £26 a cow, and that's before subsidies and labour. So you have a few bad weeks after that, contemplating what we're doing it for, what's the point of it, and it goes back to this here process of just production, and just cost. But we had James, and he then set up some paddocks on our herbal lathe. The first 9 paddocks we set up on 25 acres, and it wasn't more than a few rotations into the spring, and we noticed actually we haven't put no fertiliser on this ground. We don't need to put any fertiliser on this ground. It was just working, and that was our first time we've ever thought, right, yeah, this is easy. This is actually easy farming. We also reduced our cow numbers, which again made it easier. But we found it was a simpler system, and it didn't involve the big bills. And the big bills are what takes the fun out of farming. And going back to my first statement, the average farm in the UK got £300,000 worth of debt. And this is where the problem lies in farming, I think. So James was there, and he set up. We ended up thinking, right, no, we want to set up the whole farm in paddocks. So this was during COVID, and it was great. You know, we couldn't go anywhere. Sam couldn't go off in clubbing or anything like that, or enjoy himself. So we were just home all the time, and we had a real good go at setting the farm up in paddocks. So that was pretty beneficial. Then about 6 to 12 months later, this young lady called Hannah come along, lean, enthusiastic, a bit like your favourite house cow. That's a good compliment. But we didn't realise how somebody could be that enthusiastic about soil. And this was a real education. She came because I sort of asked some questions about herbs over a phone call, and she came out, and this is when we first got involved with the Farm Net Zero project, and she asked us if we'd like to be a demo farm. And we thought it'd be easy, just a few farm walks. But you know, what we didn't realise would be the amount that we have learned and are still learning with this project. And that was a real great thing about this project. And we didn't realise how interested we'd become over the 5-year period of this project, and how farming has changed us in the way we think about our land. But we have learned so much in 5 years, and it's made farming easier, more profitable, and far more interesting than before. It's a simple, diverse mixes of plants that get life back into the soil. As farmers, we seem to have forgotten about keeping the soil covered as much as possible to sequester that carbon. All the information we've gained from Farm Net Zero should be common knowledge. And after 5 years involved with the project, it's like if Farm Net Zero have triggered a lost or forgotten bit of DNA, which our ancestors took for granted. And that is the Farm Net Zero education that we've all benefited from in this room. So, along with Hannah, now this is a video. Press. Which one do I press here now? Cursor? So this is a video. We put in some herbal lays in 2019 and in 2019 we found the small herbs didn't work. This field we put 2 strips through the middle of the field, 12-metre strips, and this was of just small herbs and old grasses, no ryegrass, just small herbs, clover and ryegrasses. And on the 4th of April 2021, Sam shifted these bullocks, 70 heifers are in that bunch, and after about 2 weeks in this here block of ground, they realised they liked these small herbs and old grasses. And that, for us, just made us start thinking even more. You know, why are we just feeding ryegrass and these straight monocultures crops when we could be feeding this? And we'd love to do a trial on this, which is just showing, actually seeing if there is any resemblance to what they're eating, to actually the benefit of the animals, and also the healthiness of the meat that we produce. So that was a real turning point for us as well. It just made us more interested. It's just those little key moments which you think, oh crikey, yeah, that penny has dropped, didn't it? Now I know there's a lot of controversy over grass-based and intensive-based systems, and which of them gives off the most pollutants. But I feel the need is for more livestock and not less, and graze systems and not intensive systems. We all know methane and nitrous oxides are big pollutants. Methane 28 times that of CO2, and has a lifespan of 10 years. Nitrous oxide 300 times more than CO2 and a lifespan of 120 years. And that's our biggest problem in farming, nitrous oxide and methane. They're just real pollutants. But it's how we incorporate them and how we make it work. There's just big questions out there which haven't been answered yet, and this is where we need these projects to carry on a bit further. So this is when we stopped buying fertiliser, because we haven't bought any fertiliser since 2022. We spent a bit of money on a whole farm soil sampling with Tom Talbot from Terra Farmer, and we went through all the organic matter, the pHs, the phosphates, the potash, all your nutrients, calcium, zinc, boron, magnesium. And this one here, which is our organic matter on the farm. Now this here stretch down the bottom, right down the bottom right-hand corner, this is what we classify as our roughest ground. It's up on the downs. It was only reclaimed after the Second World War. But the organic matter there is 16.5% in the best part. It ranges from 10% to 16%. Up the top of the slide is what we classified as better ground. It's our arable ground where we plough and we put our crops in. That organic matter ranges from about 4.5% to 10%. And all of a sudden the penny dropped, because that ground up on the downs would always grow grass in the summer. And that's Sub-Breock Downs. If you're looking out here now, all that ground across there is Sub-Breock Downs, and it just grows grass in the summer. But we didn't really realise why. Now you know why. So it's just all these things that we learn all the way along, and it's just, the Farm Net Zero have just got us involved in trying in different ways to look at the soils, helping the businesses stay more profitable, and it keeps money in the bank and farmers farming. And when you talk to farmers about regenerative, 5 minutes. Right, I'm going to be quick. So, this is a video on calcium. If I can use a cursor where it was doing. So this is we went to John Innes Centre, and this is a video which shows a rape leaf, and they've injected it with a dye which shows up the movement of calcium. They then put an insect on that rape leaf, and everywhere that insect went, instantly the calcium followed it. So we don't know this. We haven't seen this before. Why isn't this common knowledge? All this information we've learned should be common knowledge. Yeah, that calcium is there trying to protect that plant, trying to save it from disaster, from being eaten, and we just don't know that. So it's just a real problem that the whole industry is sort of set on this here fast farming road, and to me we need to have more of this here net zero business going on. But the community within the net zero has been fantastic, and we shouldn't really need. There was 5,000 holdings in Cornwall. That means there were 5,000 businesses several years ago, farming businesses. We've now got just over 2,200. And is that because we aren't a community anymore? Yeah, everybody's busy. Yeah, we shouldn't have to need Roland and Skibble with Farm Community Network or Edward Richardson from Farm Cornwall. We never had them. We didn't used to have to need them, but we need these people now to help us through the hard times, just to keep things going. So, on that note, if I've got a few minutes left, there's a lot of questions which are unanswered. How does Becky Wilson so excited about carbon? I don't know. Why aren't we measuring all the organic matter in our UK soils? Can farming actually reverse climate change through sequestration? When was the first time Hannah Jones thought, when she passed the field, I'd really like to go and dig a hole? Is there going to be enough organic matter built up in our soils that Ben Thomas can make another film called 7 Inches of Soil? But most importantly, I'd like to go on and just thank the Net Zero team. It seems as though we've only just started, but now we're about to finish. Humans are better, happy. Humans all live better, happier lives when you're part of a community, which is what people are lacking in today's lives. If you go to Groundswell Festival, you go there and you come back thinking, why is everybody so positive? There's just a real different outlook on it at Groundswell. It's a community, and we all focus on a better way of farming like we are now. We survive better as a community, we work better, we're happier, we learn more, and Farm Net Zero is that community. So ladies and gentlemen, it gives us great pleasure to be a demo farm for this project, and we've learnt so much being part of this thought-provoking, inspiring and community-building team. My thanks must go to the whole community of farmers, the whole Farm Net Zero team, and of course Hannah, who has been full of inspiration and full of knowledge and fun, and have pulled this all together to make one big community. So thank you.